Whew. Do you have any thoughts yourself when it comes to this Bucks Hawks? We talked about it earlier, start of the show. We have Qwan fades now as an official segment. I know you're kind of needing the Hawks on the money line. You need them for the series bets. But what are you looking at tonight specifically? Is there something that jumps out that everyone can fade and bet against?
Breathe. Take it easy. I want to talk this out with you because I want to look at Trae player props, which is what I've been doing. And I see that the 3-pointers in the over is juiced, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Picking up the lingo. But that's going to be the game. I don't think he's going to be mobile. He's going to have to dish out assists. I don't know if they'll double him, but it's going to be a shooting game. So I think that's over 2.5. I'm going to listen. I need my $100, so I got to make this as easy as possible. So I'm going Trae over 2.5.
2.5 what? Threes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bring this graphic back up. Now, I need some probability determinations here. Distributions. It's a D word. It's a bunch of D words.
Go ahead.
This is basically a blowout, right? What they're saying?
No. I'm telling you, last night the Suns were laying 7 and they lost by 14.
Yeah.
Because of me, because of the futures ticket I forgot we had.
That jinxed the whole thing.
That's jinxing the whole thing, but no, this isn't a blowout. Look, like for example, just kind of a little lesson here. So when you have a money line, that's essentially telling you the chances that the team wins the game.
Okay.
Right? So you have minus 270, plus 220 on the other side. I'm doing this off the top of my head, but that's like a no vig. So you're eliminating the vigorish, right? The juice that the books takes, we'll say around plus 240 so the 240. This is like a 70-30 game. So it's not necessarily a blowout. It's like the Bucks win this like 70% of the time in a vacuum, right? Long term.
Okay.
So I don't know if you equate 70% to a blowout. I would think it would need to be like double digits to be really considered like a blowout spread. Like 30% happen all the time. So we saw it last night. So I wouldn't say it's a blowout. Now, if you're thinking it's a blowout, what's your reasoning then? That like Trae's going to just start launching threes because they're down a bunch of money, or excuse me, a bunch of points.
Desperation.
We're also down a bunch of money.
Desperation at home because with your superstar hurt, the Bucks are gonna. I think if they come out, they're gonna get a nice lead. You don't know what Trae's gonna show up. It's like I was with Embiid. Once you get to a point where your star player is hurt and you got to depend on somebody, it's a Kevin Huerter game. It's gonna have to be somebody else, and then Trae's gonna have to get involved. So I'm thinking if they get too desperate, they're gonna start chucking threes, and that's gonna lead to the blowout.
Okay. So there's actual like derivative prop angles that you can bet this sense or this feeling that Qwan has. So this is what I'm getting at. I'm thinking this through because he said he wanted to talk it out. So you're thinking Trae over 2.5 threes because you think it's a blowout, right?
Mm-hmm. And Trae Young.
Why wouldn't you just bet Bucks minus 6.5? Especially if like you're thinking it's a blowout, like 6.5 points isn't that many. Or there's actual props you can bet. By the way, Chris just moved to minus 6.5, minus 105. So pushing the Hawks way, those sevens in the market, there's a couple left, probably aren't going to last. Why you can bet this prop is largest lead in the game at any time.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head for this one. I'm guessing it's in that like 15.5 range. It's generally where you'll find it. So if you think it's a blowout, it's at any point in the game, if one of the teams is up 16 or more, it wins. And even if it we've seen so many in this playoffs too, where a team goes up 20 something and blows the lead. And it was like they've been going over. And I know some guys that have been betting these markets, and I don't follow them. It's hard to get a lot down on this type of derivative prop. But if you expect a blowout, what if you're wrong and the Hawks go up early, right? And they're up like big, then you still win, right? Because they're up, as long as either team is up like 15 or 16 at any point, you could go that route. So there's other ways I think to bet it than just hoping Trae launches a bunch of threes because they're getting blown out. My worry, and again, this comes down to me really not loving anything in the game, and I'll be upfront about it. I'm never going to force anything. But Trae Young, if it is a blowout, look, they're not, the series isn't over yet. They're going to need him for game 5.
Yeah.
And if he's really, hampered with an ankle injury and they're getting blown out, like I don't even think he plays. They'll just pull him out. And so he's not going to be launching those threes late. So I'm concerned about your bet, and especially if you're looking, again, minus 235 is what, like a 70.1% break-even percentage. Excuse me, minus 135. I should have said I had the minus 230s from the Novig price. Minus 135 is your Trae Young over. So he needs to go 3+ threes made just over 57% of the time just for you to break even. So you're paying a premium, I think, on a guy that you said is going to probably be hampered and injured yourself, but you're betting the over because you think it's a blowout. I don't know. I think the thought process is kind of like everywhere. You have like 8 things here.
It's a bunch,
but they're like kind of like this, and you're like, well, it's Trae Young over.
Look at my hair. It's a bunch of stuff.
I think you could break this down to just laying this. It might even be 6 soon here in the market. I'm watching the screen. You can get maybe lay 6 on the Bucks. You could bet the blowout prop more or less with largest lead. You could also just stay away completely because Trae Young. Again, you said yourself. You think Trae Young's going to be a little beat up with the bone bruise.
Yeah.
So why are you betting on him to make at least 3 threes? Especially for someone who's also been dealing with a shoulder injury, hasn't really been making a ton of 3-pointers. They've been forcing him to drive and hit a bunch of the floaters, mid-range stuff. I'm against you on this one.
Ooh.
But we're locking it in. It's a Quan's fade.
It's a
Quan fade.
We're here to gamble. And if preston says he doesn't like it, that means I like it. Because that's how contrast works. So Trae Young and the over 2.5. I'll do 2 more.
Wow, wait, hold on. We got 3?
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I was like breaking this one down. I was like, we gotta, shape.
Officially 3-3. I got 2 days. So I don't know math, but I'm in a good place.
Well, you're not actually.
Huh?
You're not really in a good place.
I am.
Because you need the Hawks to win another game still in the series, or you lose 2 more bets there. Yeah.
Listen, I might need to do 8 bets.
So that's why I say 3 bets is good, though, because you need a few more chances at wins. So this is good. Tell us where you're at.
I'll just add 1 to this, and then we'll
No. We need both.
We need both?
Yeah. We got time. You're fine. We don't have commercial breaks yet. We're good. Let's talk them through.
I believe it's a blowout. So I'm going to go Bucks.
All right.
6.5.
I think that's fine to do both. Maybe you're right. The blowout means Trae's chucking threes and maybe a few go in. But if you do think it's a blowout, then the best bet here is laying the 6.5 with the Bucks. You could even lay an alternate line. You could go for, like lay 10.5 at plus 170 or whatever. You could get odds on a bigger number if you really think the Bucks just roll and run with it. You have options. But yeah, so I'm fine with that. I think that's okay. Because really that's your sentiment for tonight is that the Bucks just take care of business. So that's good. What's the last one?
The last, I like that player prop or the blowout prop.
Okay, well we'll
look it up.
We need to find what the actual line is.
Yeah.
It definitely is available some spots.
This is going to be horrible because I can be coerced into spending money. So when I lay my first bet, I'm going to cry because I'm going to ask Preston.
You're going to cry.
And then I'm going to think about it until the very last second, until they win or lose. So it could be really good or it could be really bad.
I'm actually excited. If you're crying, so we have this second set over here with the lounge couch, but it's the therapist couch. Have the clients lay down, talk through their bets. We have some new mics. We're going to be set up there, I think, hopefully by next week. We'll shoot some stuff over there. But if you win and you need to do like a cry it out session, if you lose on the couch, I mean, we'll figure it out, but there's something to be done there.
I already need a lot of counseling. So, whatever floats your boat.
I'm looking it up right now at Westgate. I know generally has this prop, and I can start looking at some PPH sites that definitely will if we need to find it. But I'm trying to pull it up now so people have something to sweat for. Doesn't look like they have it up at least right now that I can see. So we'll figure it out. I'm going to say it's around a 15.5, although it might be increasing just because this day and age, these NBA games have been super swingy. But it'll probably be in that 15.5, 16.5 range for largest lead in the game. And you're going to go over. We'll find the number, and I'll let you know what it is. 3 bets, you win all 3, and the Hawks lose to 2 series games. You're still going to be slightly ahead of 500. So you need a sweep tonight would be pretty big to kind of get ahead of Or if the Hawks win outright, it's fine. You lose your Bucks bet. But if they win outright, it probably means Trae hits 3 threes.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't know about the blowout, but I don't know. You're in an interesting spot. Like, again, Qwan has like this many ideas, and they're crossing night. Like, I don't think you can really get like way ahead or way behind. You've kind of molded into you might be around 500 in a few days.
You know what?
Then you can just power on one big bet on the last day.
That's it, man. As long as I can put up a Hail Mary or a last second shot and still try to win. That's how I got to this point. Maybe I need to be a little better, but not right now.
You could always fire one of these too, like on the last day, just to try to throw it in my face. But you can do like Bucks win by 11 to 15, 5 to 1. You can get like a 5 to 1 shot if you think the Bucks win by 11. Now he wants it right now. He wants to add it right now. 16 to 20. You think they win by 16 to 20? 7 to 1. If you think they win by 21 to 25, you can get 10.5 to 1. 26 or more, 11 to 1. I'm not sure if any of those interest you, but
I just know there's going to be a big lead at a certain point because somebody's going to be jacking threes.
What are your thoughts on this? Sorry, we're going to keep going there. If you guys have any more calls, we'll keep the lines open for a few more minutes. 661-515-BETS. That is 661-515-2387. Shout out to the 661. Bucks minus 10.5. I was close. I thought it would be around plus 170. It's plus 165. So if you want to go blowout, but you don't want to try to narrow into 11 to 15 only, you can just lay basically that they win by double digits. You get plus 165 back. You could do that instead of laying 6.5 if you prefer. If you want. Think it over. Now, I know as soon as you commit to this, it's guaranteed the Bucks win by 7 to 10. And I'll go the other way and I'll bet Bucks by 7 to 10.
That's my luck.
4 to 1 or something. Yeah. But yeah. Think it over. You don't have to lock it in quite yet.
We'll announce it on Twitter. That may be a 4th edition.
Okay, so let's stay 30 more seconds on this. You like the Bucks in a blowout. You're laying 6.5. That's fine. Maybe 10.5 at great odds. I'm still slightly confused as to why your first inclination then was Trae Young over 2.5 threes. The guy that's hurt, that if it's a blowout, probably won't play in the fourth quarter. And if it's a blowout, that means they're probably not making shots, which means Trae Young's probably not making shots, which means he's probably not making threes. So the correlation there, that's where I lost you. Again, you're kind of like...
It's athlete mentality, man.
Athlete mentality. Okay, explain.
Once you get that injury, you get this indomitable will to dominate. That seems contradictory, but I don't know. He's one of those players that he's not out of the game because he's not hobbled by it. He still has range. He still can be effective, and teams are still going to be scared of him. So it's just him hitting shots, and he's not going to get the same looks, but it's a momentum thing for him being out there, and it's a confidence booster for the rest of the Hawks, I think. You can't go out. If you're telling me that Trae Young's not playing at all, that team is out of it mentally. They're not going to show up. They're going to say, we got to do this without our... I think so.
I mean, they're in a bad spot, but they're also kind of playing with house money because no one expected them to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
So who do you see stepping up?
And you see what the Clippers have done without Kawhi. They're all stepping up. Those first 2 games against Utah, everyone counted them out, and then they win both. I've seen it go the other way. I don't necessarily think they're completely checking out. Now, measuring the impact Trae Young has on this offense is one of the most positive, impactful offensive players in the league. Yes, Atlanta's probably dead if that's the case, especially against a solid team like Milwaukee. But I'm not sure the guys, the players are necessarily checking out because we've seen plenty step up in the moment, like Reggie, like Marcus Morris, who's kind of been hampered during the series, did not miss last night.
You're talking about vets though.
Okay. So
Atlanta's on the younger end.
You got Clint Capella, you got Gallinari, you have Lou Williams off the bench. I know someone that wants to bet the Bucks already told me Lou's going to drop 40 when Trae doesn't play or something and have a career game.
Listen, I thought Qwan fades.
So I'm interested. I'm intrigued, but I can't bet the game.
You see him not playing at all, or limited?
No, I have no idea. I think the market is telling you that he's not going to be 100%.
Yeah.
The limited minutes thing I'm only assessing because if you think it's a blowout and he's dealing with an ankle and a shoulder and they have to make sure he's more healthy for game 5 just to try to keep their season alive, then he's probably not going to play a fourth quarter if they're down 20. He goes out to start the fourth quarter anyway. He would maybe come back in around the 9-minute mark. But if they're down 25, like they'll probably just save him, right? They're not going to make up a 25-point lead unless they're playing the Sixers. They did twice. So maybe, I don't know. That's like maybe they remember that and then they just play him. But that's my worry is that he'll basically have like 9 fewer minutes played because of that fourth quarter potential.
What's the probability on him shooting? Like, what for you to work something out like that, he has to shoot less threes, right? For him missing the last 9 minutes?
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about kind of like usage, right? He's shooting X amount of 3-point attempts every minute, per minute. And so, yeah, if he ends up playing, say, 30 minutes instead of 40, then you're not going to get as many threes up. And if he's not shooting as many threes, he's not going to make as many threes. So I'm not trying to talk you out of it either. Yeah, no, but I'm just like, if you're steadfast, Bucks blowout, Trae's hurt, I'm just shocked, but also not shocked because it is a segment called Qwan Fades. That you went with Trae over 2.5 threes made.
It's the math thing, man. If we didn't have to do this based on math, I would be floating. But he just said like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, and then I just got confused. So I still see some type of emotional charge from Trae, and it's 3 threes. I think if he's out there to start the game, we're going to test it. They're going to see what he can do, but he's going to settle because he can't drive, he can't hit the floater, and he's not going to be able to move. So he either contributes on the offensive end hitting threes or passing, or he's out of the game. But this is Qwan Fades, and I'm here for it.
I'm glad you're here for it. I think it was Kyle. I have it on another tab. It said Lemon Pepper Lou. That's what I'm saying. It's like a homage to the Atlanta scene. Trae gets, scratched. Quan's like, oh, it's over. They're not going to care. And my friend's already calling it Lou Williams. Lemon Pepper Lou drops a 40 ball. I can see it. We've seen weird things happen. All right.